Hello and welcome to another episode of Affirmative Murder, the equal opportunity true crime comedy podcast. I am Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Francell Evans.
Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Yeah, man, I'm the mailman. Can't you tell, man? Gonna post it.
What up?
Fran, man, what a time to be alive. We are coming to you guys a few days out from a very eventful world of sports, ranging from the Super Bowl to some other sports news. How are you feeling? Is your head stop spinning? Can you believe that your Eagles are Super Bowl champions?
My Eagles? Nah. Can I believe it? It was shocking. What? Yeah, it was a bit shocking. I thought the Chiefs. I wanted the
How
Eagles
bad
to
the
win.
game was shocking for sure.
Yes, I wanted the Eagles to win, but I didn't think it was going to be in that type of in a blowout fashion.
But not at all.
If anybody saw the game, it's blowout fashion.
I thought it was going to be a game at least.
At least
It was over in the first quarter.
Yeah, it was. The game was the whole. That I think you can put a big L on this Super Bowl, just in all aspects of. Super Bowl.
Well-
Maybe just from a view at home.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it was. I mean,
Yeah, the game was trash.
I could have done something else.
The Super Bowl, the halftime performance, I've loved it. I thought it was great. I think that, some people didn't understand the messaging. And one thing about me, when I'm elbow deep in a slice of pizza on Super Bowl Sunday, I'm definitely trying to analyze topographical maps of human beings forming themselves into letters, maybe or maybe not, and trying to solve that right in the middle of also trying to be entertained.
But that's not what you said. That's not what you told me.
No, I loved it.
That's not what you told me.
No, I loved
Oh,
it.
you're being sarcastic.
No,
This
I
is
loved
satire.
it. What did you think? Did you like it?
I thought it was boring. I thought the halftime show was boring.
That's just because you didn't understand the symbolism in the message.
Is that what it was?
You didn't open up your third eye. It wasn't activated.
I don't know if you've been. I can't tell if you're being serious right now, though.
No, I loved it. I thought it was great. We're going to LA. We just recently announced that we're going on tour. And one of our first stops is LA, so I loved it. I thought the West Coast
Can
was
we be-
back,
no,
and I
let's-
thought
can we
that
be serious?
Kendrick Lamar is a visionary and he's
Can
brilliant.
we be like? Are you legit? No, seriously though.
I did not like it. I didn't like. I didn't like it.
I'm
man.
like, this is not
Yeah,
what you said when I was
I
texting.
didn't
This,
like it,
this
man.
is
I was
complete
trying to
opposite
be-
of what you were saying.
I was trying to be democratic and political and everything. I didn't like it, and if that makes me like not awake or Uncle Tom or something, I'm sorry. Like I understand. I saw all the messages,
Sure.
and I didn't see all the messages because apparently if you watch it like 8 times, there's stuff that was coded and what people the way they were hand fiving and stuff. I'm like, this is. I just wanted to hear people dance and sing, bro. And I understand, like, it was monumental and all those things. I get that, and him being himself, but like, I just wanted to just watch an entertaining show. Like I wasn't. I guess that's on me for me, like, not being prepared to digest something for the Super Bowl halftime show. I'll put that on myself.
Well, can I speak on the messages part? Like that's, and I can honestly say, I didn't catch any of the messages. Why? Because that's not what that's not the
You weren't
mindset
looking.
I'm in.
Yeah.
When I'm watching a Super Bowl, like I'm not worried about messages and shit like that. And people, I don't, bro. Let me tell you something.
It's Sunday.
It's Sunday. I'm chilling, watching the game, having fun. I got some food, family. I'm not worried about messages and whatnot. Like,
It's
I don't
so
care about
loud
that
in
right
most people's house when the Super Bowl is on. You're like,
I
yo,
don't care
quiet
about
down. What did Samuel L. Jackson just say?
Yeah, okay, but I caught that.
Rewind
I
it,
was like,
rewind
okay.
it.
Oh, Samuel Jackson, Uncle Sam. Oh, how could I miss that? That was
But
so
you got to
obvious.
listen to what he said. Bro, it's like, yo, it's loud in here. There's 20 people in here. I didn't hear what he said.
bro. Just perform, man. I mean, like, I'm a Kendrick Lamar stan, but it could have been a better song selection. I mean, there could have been some guests. I don't know. It just,
Doing a solo,
yeah.
that's bold. I mean, that's like some shit that's a Prince move. That's a
That's a
Beyonce.
Michael Jackson move.
Beyonce didn't even do that. So I'm going out here dolo, just me.
Yeah.
All the hits.
Yeah, I disagree with that. Yeah, man. It's just he's
I
not Michael
think-
Jackson. You can't go up there
Yeah.
solo. And
Like I know. Look, I'm not gonna hear to say Kendrick Lamar doesn't have hits, but I don't think he played the hits that he had really.
right. He didn't.
For one, and
He didn't.
also like not just that, but also like it's very confident to. Let me see how I want to word this. I think Kendrick Lamar is a really talented artist. I think he's a headphone artist. You know, like I mean, he has some bumpable. He has some.
I agree with you. Know
he
what?
has some bumpable songs, but like he's for you're trying to listen and understand what he's saying.
Yes,
and really take in the messages like people are doing. See, here's the thing: the Kendrick Lamar fans are making this whole. They're what's kind of making this thing insufferable because you go. I think you can objectively go. Performances are for people to digest however they please, and it's like either you like it or you don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. I'm not going to say it was terrible.
Sure,
I thought it was
wasn't
okay.
bad. Yeah.
But the idea that if I say I thought it was okay, it's like, see, that's just because you were asleep and you wanted him to bang on a marching band drum and shoot fireworks off. And it's like, yeah.
That's Super Bowl.
It's Super Bowl halftime.
It's like, supposed to be entertaining.
I didn't put on Childish Gambino's This Is America music video. And I'm like, I'm not catching any of this symbolism. I wasn't looking for symbolism. Yeah. And if we're going to be fair, if Kendrick Lamar had gotten this at a different time, maybe I would have been more prepared for like the deepness of Kendrick Lamar. But we were all waiting for him to play the They Not Like Us record. Like
if there was a time, he wouldn't have gotten the.
Like if that wouldn't have happened, he wouldn't even be performing. And that's not to say he doesn't deserve to be looked at, but this moment was because of that record, and that's what everybody was waiting for. And then him like teasing it, and one take I saw, which I semi agreed with, which was like, this is peak Kendrick Lamar. I'm not saying he won't ever make another song that's bigger and I'd be surprised. This was a moment, right? And he had a hell of a year, won all these Grammys, and this was the kind of culmination of all that. And for me, it just put into perspective, like, oh, all this crazy success you just had, and you can guys call me whatever, Glaze, whatever, I don't care. All the success that you had in that moment in the Super Bowl really put into perspective, like, oh, a lot of this is because you dissed Drake. Like the big moment of the thing, say Drake, when you looked at the camera, like that was the meme, that was the moment of the performance. Like people can talk about all this other stuff that they're looking at. Oh man, did you see how the aerial view, there's a guy on the street lamp and he's a tarot card or all this stuff. I'm like, this is insufferable. Like I just was trying to eat some pizza and watch a game, right? Yeah. And then watch a nice performance. But anyway, the big moment after, like I texted you, I was like, man, this shit is kind of anticlimactic and a little boring. And then when he dropped They Not Like Us, then I perked up. I went, oh shit, he actually did it. Yeah. So that was the big moment of your moment. And it was about another man.
Yeah. Yeah, but I disagree. Only because when an artist puts out a song, they're not going, oh, this is going to be, I mean, you can obviously have optimism and go, oh, this is the biggest song ever. This is going to be the biggest song ever. This is going to make history. The fans and listeners is what makes a hit and it, doesn't. And it's not a hit.
Sure.
So like, us and the hype of the beef and everything, we made the song bigger than wherever you want to put it on as far as like and hit. But it's like you can't. When people say that, you can't blame him for it being a hit and him dissing another man.
I don't blame him, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but people
it's
go
not,
like, oh well, come on, man, you only got this hit because you dissed Drake. If there wasn't a beef though, this was a back and forth beef, and this song happened to be it. I mean, like, what else? I mean, you can't.
He got the hit because of his talent, but the song is about a guy, another man.
I get that, but
and then your moment, you leaned into it, like you.
But why not?
Which is hip hop, and you know something that might be the whole point. Is like, I'm not like him, and I'm not like the culture, maybe because it's like he prioritized. Like I texted you, I said that was hip hop history. Like the biggest diss song, you did the diss on the Super Bowl stage. Like that's history in hip hop. And as we all know, Kendrick Lamar is a hip hop he's a legend in many a way, but in as far as rap goes, there's not anybody who loves rap who has anything negative to say about Kendrick Lamar. He is a student of hip hop, so
He's a savant.
he's a savant. He wants to always be a steward of hip hop. So that was a big moment. But it's like
I think
the Super
people
Bowl's
hold
bigger than that moment. And also it's like so like play They Not Like Us. That's not even the issue. The issue that I have is nothing to do with him playing They Not Like Us. That's just a little observation I make where I go, man, like the only time I got really super excited about your performance was when you did They Not Like Us. So I guess my real critique is like, I just think I think this was Kendrick Lamar's biggest moment of his career. He put this album out that like is kind of mixed reviews. And he's like, I'm going to showcase this album to get the sales boosted up for that. I want people to really flock towards this album. So I'm going to go full on all about GNX. But for me, which I think was a bold move, but for me, I went, so the whole performance was kind of lackluster. And then the big moment of your performance was this song, which made it all about Drake again to me. The performance, and then Serena Williams was out there. I'm like, why? Like, this is all very like na 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 boo boo, which is cool.
Yeah.
But like, how about you go out there and go, I'm Kendrick Lamar, a legend. Let me play y'all some of my hits, man. Let me run y'all through my catalog.
Yeah, sure, Brian.
Show y'all who I am.
Sure, but we know
my
why.
opinion.
Right, but sure, but I mean, like, we know why he got that. I mean, not just alone he's a good artist, but like the song was the biggest song of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, okay, the Super Bowl's coming. This is the perfect time to do it. And he went on there and did the song. But it's like, if I don't like
no
people
issue with
holding
that. No issue with that. I have no
yeah,
issue.
but I don't like people holding it against like, oh well, this is about Drake. It was like, okay, well, if the table was, and people only do that because Kendrick drops an album every like 4 years, like the fucking Olympics or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if the tables would turn, it wouldn't be, oh, Drake is only having this morning because he dissed Kendrick. It wouldn't be that way. It would be because, oh, Drake is just a good artist. He's just talented.
I'm gonna choose to not further this conversation because I don't want to sit here and glaze Drake.
Okay.
Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. For it hit the people it was supposed to hit. Like, I guess I wasn't one of those people, and that's fine. Which is hey,
they could have gotten somebody else to do the Super Bowl. Sure, I think they could have got the Hot Boys or something. They could have got something.
And listen,
to that.
See, I'm trying to move on, but you keep bringing up great points. I wasn't impressed enough with Kendrick Lamar's performance that I'm like, nah, Lil Wayne didn't need to do this. Lil Wayne and the Hot Boys and Master P, they could have did that if they're gonna do this, which is cool. Like, I get that, but like, I'm like, man, I would have enjoyed that more.
Yeah.
And you talk about culture and all, it would have hit all those marks for me. It wouldn't have been like politically engaging and all these think pieces that people are coming up with, but like, it would have been a cultural moment to see Master P in New Orleans on the Super Bowl stage, Lil Wayne, Juvenile, Hot Boys reunion. I would have loved that. Now, I shut up when people were like, man, you showing me clips of like Lil Wayne performing recently, and I'm like, yeah, well, it's not great. I'm like, it's not great. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll shut up because I know Kendrick Lamar brings it. But then when I see what he presented, which is like artistically, got it, but entertainment value for me, it was low. So I'm like, I would have rather seen Lil Wayne yelling and bringing the Hot Boys out, Master P, and all this type of stuff.
But it's just the Super Bowl is so weird, and I think they need to find a way to balance it, because it's like having one artist or whatever come up there. Sure, like if you have, like, just for an example, you get Billie Eilish up there, and then you do, I don't know, they do one half, and then you get, I don't know,
You saying go broad?
Yeah, just more broad. Just
That's
balance it
how I
out.
feel.
Because you can't, if you can't throw Lil Wayne up there.
Yeah.
Oh, you throw Lil Wayne up there, it's like, then all the other people are like, I don't know what is this shit?
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. And then
Or
you
you
throw
go
some
all
country music on there, it's gonna be vice versa. It's gonna be, oh, now we like, that's whack. I ain't
And
trying
this
to
goes back to this, and you called me a glazer, right? This was my point where I go, I think Kendrick Lamar is really talented. He is a very specific artist. I feel like because of his performance, which again, I can appreciate it artistically, I don't think we're ever going to see a rapper lead a halftime show again, because it was so controversial, and the NFL cares about like the bottom line, which is like, if most of the people that buy tickets didn't like this, then next year the pendulum, I'll tell you like this, next year it's going to be a pendulum swing.
Oh, for sure.
It's going to be like Willie Nelson or something. You know what I'm saying? They're going to go fully the other way.
Yeah.
And, for me, I feel like
It might be the next couple of years because I think we've had it the last couple.
Yeah,
I think this whole it's been like Eminem.
I think Jay-Z. This was like the pinnacle of his powers. Yeah. But all I know is next year it's going to be Luke Combs or something.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like they got to find a way to balance.
I would love a balance, but I feel like what you do is you pick a balanced artist, which they don't always do. But a lot of the times it's like a pop artist who has songs with many people. Like Maroon 5, you can bring out Wiz Khalifa. You can bring out, they got songs with a bunch of people. Me personally, I think, her era of where it would get hip hop was a little controversial, but I think Miley Cyrus would be a great Super Bowl halftime performer.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
She can touch she can hit everybody.
Yeah.
Party
U in the USA, the place would have been crazy.
What? You feel me? That's all I'm saying. Like, I understand the message, and I know you're on the same side as me, so we've been rambling about it. We can close it up, but I'm saying I know you're on the same side as me as far as like we didn't love it. I thought it was a fine performance, but I'm also like, for me, I know that when I'm watching the Super Bowl, I just want to be entertained. Like,
it was okay. I don't know if I want to say it was okay, man.
It was
just
okay.
Wasn't
they
brought out SZA, and y'all didn't even play the biggest song of you and SZA right now. I was like, what's happening?
I like all the stars. That's cool. But like, you got to also let SZA get at least 4. You got to let SZA get a little medley off. Don't bring SZA out to do one song. You got to let SZA get at least, you going to bring SZA out. You got to let her do 20 seconds of snooze.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, come on, bro. Don't waste SZA's time. Now, I know she didn't feel that way, but I felt that way. I see SZA come on the screen like, okay, I need SZA. SZA's got to get at least 4 joints.
Yes.
And,
Yeah. I get that.
But yeah, so those are our thoughts. And I was going to touch on the Luka Doncic thing, but we just went crazy on the sports.
We don't have to.
And Luka Doncic is a Laker now.
Yeah.
I tried to explain it to my girlfriend, and she just did not care. Listen, I want to say this to like all the women out there listening.
Well, at least she asked. Shit.
Humor.
What?
Listen,
and
this goes with anything, man. Listen.
Yeah.
Just humorous. I'll tell you like this, because if any woman listening to this, if your man is anything like me, it's rare that I go up to my girl to try to tell her like I'm excited about something. Like, you won't believe it. Like, I usually know like you don't care.
Yeah.
So understand if I go. Plus, you called me like 4 times the day it happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, if I tell you all that, just give me like oh my goodness, like. She was like, okay, you want to get a coffee? I was like, do you understand? I'm trying to think of like I'm trying to think. I'm like,
the whole landscape of basketball.
They moved the generational talent to another franchise that's a generational franchise.
Yeah.
This changes the entire face of the NBA.
Right here. Yeah.
She was like, okay, cool. So are you hungry? Let's go get us a bite to eat. I'm like, you just don't get it.
That's
they
why
traded Luka Doncic. She's like, is he the big guy that you said won MVP a bunch of times? Like, no, that's Nikola Jokic. She's like, oh, okay, I don't care. So I'm saying, women, just like, I know this moment has passed, but like this was big, and I think a lot of your men, your husbands and boyfriends, probably came up to you with a glow in their eyes and a glimmer, excited to tell you the biggest news in NBA history. And if you shut him down, just understand you took a little piece of him that day.
Yeah, for sure.
When he was like, babe, listen, can you believe I got to tell you this? And you're like, what? Oh, okay. Well, is that like good? And it's like, never mind. That never mind. It was just know it hurt him in his soul.
Yeah.
To be like, damn, I can't even. I'm trying to share my joys and my shockings on moments with you, and you just not even hearing me. So just think about faking it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I know you women, they fake it with us a lot. You know, I understand. I get it. You know, I understand. It's a tough job. You got to do a lot of faking around men. But with this one, this was big news.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to get some fucked up shit. So stick around. All right. And we are back. Fran, this is a story this week that I don't even know if what we're about to read can really put into like words of how crazy this was. For one, when I heard about it on this podcast. It's like 4 New York dudes. They were just telling like New York lore, and they were talking about this guy named Z Black, who went into a diner and made like 100 people strip butt naked and robbed them and did all this crazy.
By himself?
He said no. He said he was with a crew, which is the story that we're going to get into. Now, I don't know who Z Black is in this story. So, but I think it's important, kind of important. I mean, the story is important itself. It's a crazy story. It's tragic in a lot of ways. But I think it's important that the way that I came across this to know that like there was a Thanos level threat in the group. I don't know which one it was, but apparently one of these guys was like the gooniest of goons. Like where even the crew might have been scared of him. Like, oh, this is what we're doing. And so shut the fuck up, go take them in the back and whatever. So I don't think that's going to be in our story.
Yeah.
In our notes. And so I feel like it's maybe at the top we go, one of these guys is like a super scary guy.
All right.
Okay. So this is the story of the Seacrest Diner Rampage. This story takes place in Old Westbury, which is an affluent suburb in Long Island. So on May 25th, 1982, a group of 5 men in their 20s, hailing from an impoverished Brooklyn neighborhood, were picked up by one of the men's girlfriends and driven out to Long Island. The men entered Jericho Townhouse Diner and robbed and assaulted patrons and then knocked the owner unconscious. I mean, they ran through this place and absolutely terrorized a full diner. Like people were in the middle of eating dinner.
Yeah.
All in all, the group went table to table and collected somewhere north of $37,000. You know, watches off, wallets, like they were, you know, table to table. So it was a pretty packed house in a nice area. Like it was a suburban area.
Had to be.
Yeah. So, you know, they
getting that going to no McDonald's.
No. You might not get $37. If everybody's eating off the value menu, you know, if it's 2 to a table, it's like 20 tables.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah, it's just not as valuable as it used to be.
Oh, so they should change the name.
Yeah, it's. I just know there's no dollar menu. It's not it's not the dollar menu.
Man, what a time.
Yeah, man, what? Used to walk into a McDonald's with $10 like a god, man. Give me 2 McChickens, 2 McDoubles, a sweet tea, apple pie. I was going crazy. Food I didn't even need. Eat half the sandwich, throw it away. It was too much food available.
I got there with a gang of food.
What?
A big old bag of food.
Oh my God. 6 burgers in a bag? Yeah. And I only spent $6 with sales tax too? $6.50, $6.25? Come on.
Man.
Nah, but you're not getting $37,000 at a McDonald's. So this is a nice neighborhood. They went through. It was like that scene in Pulp Fiction. Like everybody watches off, necklaces, jewelry, everything in the bag. But it's 4 guys going through taking everybody's stuff at every table.
Yeah.
And talk about luck, man, like bad luck. I mean, you just go out to have a nice dinner with your lady. And you always think about this as a guy. Unfortunately, it's like the toxic masculinity. I mean, I'm like, obviously I'm going to give it up. You know, I got a family, we got kids and stuff like that. Like, but like, you're getting robbed in front of your girl. Like, it plays in your mind. Like, is she going to look at me different if I didn't protect her? This kind of stuff. And so I think it would torment a lot of guys in a lot of ways.
I think it depends. I do agree, but I think it depends. I think is this are you just casually dating? That's one thing.
Oh, then I don't care.
Is this your wife? Is this your wife, or this is your long time?
This is like
I don't think I'm worried about that.
Oh, you think it's worse if it's casual?
Yes.
More embarrassing.
It's more embarrassing.
Oh yeah. Like, well, yeah, that's definitely like it will be an impasse. Like she might not call. She might not call you tomorrow. She's like,
yeah. If that's your wife, it's like I don't think that changes your character. Where it's like
she knows. She knows.
Judging where it's like, oh, you
fair. That's a good point you make. And so I've changed my stance. I agree. If this is first date, I don't expect you to call me the next day. Yeah. And I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm like, hey man, can I just keep the watch? And then these are 4 dudes from Brooklyn. So it's like, no, bitch ass, fuck no, you can't keep the watch. Stupid. And they smack you upside your head and stuff. You're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm like, she probably won't call me tomorrow.
Nah.
You know?
Because she was like, no, he's a chump. He doesn't protect me.
Yeah, so that might be that type.
I don't think a wife committed girlfriend is like, nah, you know what? I don't like it. I don't think that.
I thought you were tougher than all this. It takes a couple guys with guns and then you turn into a bitch. Like, nah, that's in my head. Yeah. I think she just will be concerned for me. Like, oh my, are you okay?
Yeah. And your wife will be the one to give it up.
Yeah. Don't be a hero.
We need to leave alive. We gotta get out of this alive. It can't be.
So they ran through that place, absolute menaces. The men retreated to their getaway car, and they were high on adrenaline and cold hard cash. Michael Williams, James Martin, Robert Samuels, Bruce Garrison, and Aubrey Rawlings had devised a plan after that moment to hit a string of robberies out in the sleepy, affluent town that they were in for some quick and easy cash. So like,
you gotta be on something though, right? You do things like this.
Nah, these were just young dudes. They were from a super bad part of Brooklyn, very impoverished. Like,
I'm thinking of Snow in the Bluff. Maybe that's why.
was he on drugs?
They was like drinking alcohol. They got like drunk.
Yeah, true.
Before they started like, you just can't, bro. You're a different animal if you could just rile yourself up to do shit like this.
They're probably
that's insane.
They're probably on something. Yeah,
something, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they got to be a hardcore drug, but I mean like if you can just be like, just turn it on, like no, let's go. That's
keep in mind.
You're
I told you there's the Z Black character that I've heard of was in this group, but also they probably want some sherm sticks, butt naked, something like that. You know, Angel does, and you know, dip the joint in some embalming fluid.
That's what.
Take you to the moon real quick.
Yeah.
Huffing paint.
Adrenaline is like running through your vein. Was like all time high. Was like you can't. Sure. Yeah, man. I don't. No, man. You just can't.
Not just
You're a
sober.
person.
Straight edge.
Straight sober.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I don't drink at all or do drugs. That's bad.
That's bad.
Cock the gun. Pull the ski mask
That's
down.
the leader. If you do shit like that, that's Big C, whatever his name is. C Black or that.
Now he's like, nah, son.
Like,
nah,
this is
son.
nature to me.
Drugs is bad for you, son. Pull the ski mask down, like ready to go to work, straight edge sober. Never drank in my life. Never done a drug one time in my life. I just get high off life.
I'm so proud of him. Yeah. Let's rob that nigga.
Look at Calvin. All right, man. Let's rob that nigga, Shane. That's crazy. Insanity. Yeah. Underrated.
Yeah, man.
Chappelle Show sketch,
man.
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy. Man.
Whack Arnold's.
Whack.
What's up, fry guy? Punk bitch. He just got a job. Why are everybody treating him like this? So anyway, now they've devised a plan to like, hey man, we got $37,000.
Let's keep on
We're
going.
gonna do this again.
Yeah.
And on May 29th, 1982, at around 12:30 a.m., after driving around a neighborhood and looking for another diner, they saw one, but it was like too well lit. It was like the surround, like not just the diner, but like the area around it.
Gotcha.
So they're like, nah, not this. But what they did next is shocking when you talk about escalation. So police said that 5 men armed with handguns, shotguns, and blackjacks, which are like, it is like little handheld, like kind of like batons, but they're heavy on the end that you swing. They bursted into a home.
That's what that thing is called?
What does it look like?
It's like rope at the bottom, and it's like a hand strap.
You can wrap it around your wrist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was called.
A lot of police in the 1940s had them.
Yeah, it's like super old.
Yeah. What's the 70s?
Like some freaky stuff though.
Like it's dominatrix.
Yeah.
Like you shove it up your ass. Anyway, that was extreme. Sorry about that. We can move on.
That's not what I was
okay,
thinking.
no, right. So
Hold on. That's not what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, right.
That was crazy.
For sure.
Oh man.
So they actually ended up bursting into a home. They saw some kids. They saw a couple coming out of a house in the middle of the night. And again, it's the suburbs. Like it's a nice neighborhood. These 4 dudes from Brooklyn, they're like, Mark. They get out and go and harass this couple. Like, what's going on in there? What's going on? They're like, it's a party. So they take those two, take them back in the house, find everybody in the party. It's like, everybody go in the basement now.
Oh,
they like
shit.
hijacked the party. It was like a 21, like a 21st birthday kind of thing that was happening, like a house party. They took everybody, put them in the basement. All of the occupants of the house were herded into the basement, and a room in the basement where they were forced to undress and lie on the floor. And it's also crazy to me, it's 4 people, but again, there's one of these dudes in this group, he is the devil. Like, he's scared, he's big, he's jacked, all these things, right? So, because I keep going, like, how did 4 people go into, let's say this party had 25 people at it, which is a big party. Let's say 15.
Yeah.
How did 4 people get 15 people all on the floor and undressed and
Y'all got guns and shotguns and shit
That's true.
in the house. It's not like a
In the
huge
house,
area.
but they also, the first lick was a diner.
Okay.
But the shotgun, guns, it's weapons. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm so fascinated in like, you robbed 40 people.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me.
Like, if
But
one person runs,
I shoot him.
try to escape.
Message sent.
Yeah. Shoot them, and then like panic starts, and everybody gets shot.
Yeah, like, yeah. So it's like, nobody move.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Don't be a hero.
No,
Unless you
don't
have,
be a coward.
Like, unless you at the back. Unless you like, I'm right. The door's right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't be a coward, because like, if you're running, I mean, it's one thing to charge at the person. It's like, I'm probably going to try to run out of the door.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get out of here.
But then like you can't. But then you're in a situation like if getting back to you're dating, you can't just run.
Oh, leave your date?
Can't just leave your
Well,
date.
let me ask you the question you asked me. Is this the first date or is this long term?
Yeah, that's true. Because if I don't know you, I'm gone. I'm out of this bitch.
Nah, that's fucked up.
I'm out of
Nah,
here.
we'll ride it out. We'll take your wristwatch off. We'll get through it. Then you can not call me tomorrow. I'm not gonna just run off on you. That's crazy.
I don't know.
I don't even know you like
Well,
that.
let me ask you a question. How's this day going?
About as well as the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl performance.
Then I'm definitely running. I'm out of here. Mid date? Nah, man, this shit is.
It's all right. You
I'm
know?
out of here. Nah, that's fucked up. You can't do that. You can't just.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No date left behind. So, in the midst of all this chaos, a young man named Bruce Serlin, who was 21 years old, was beaten with one of those blackjacks when he hesitated to take his jewelry off. He was treated for a concussion and cuts under his left eye. So he really
Hesitate. I mean, like, is that like him taking too long, or is that like?
One thing that I think is important to note and pay attention to in this is like a lot of the extra things that these guys are doing. So there was a real power trip at play. Okay. And like,
so making an example.
Yeah. And just like, I want to embarrass you. I want to dominate you, and I'm in control. So even you being like, oh, well, this is my dad. I'm not trying to hear any of that. I'm not negotiating with you. We're not having a discussion.
That sends a real message.
Yeah. Sure. Like there's no like, can I just give you my wedding ring and not the watch, or vice versa, or anything like that? Not only am I not going to say any like no or yes, I'm just going to hit you in your face.
Yeah.
I'm not here to talk to you about anything. This is not a negotiation. I said, take everything off. Why am I even having to talk to you when I told everybody take all your clothes off and all your jewelry off? Now I got to start making examples of people. And I think he was a person that even the slightest bit of not going with the program ended poorly for people. So, also, unfortunately, several females were sexually abused. They would go cop field, sexually assault them and stuff. They just were like, we have you in this situation. We're in full control. We do what we want.
Yeah.
It's very scary. It's like that movie, The Strangers. It stuck with me so much. That scene where it's like, why are you doing this? Who are you? And he was like, y'all were here. Like, y'all were here. I have no reason for you. Y'all didn't do anything to us. We don't know you.
Yeah, that part stuck with me for a
to.
while.
Yeah, that was crazy because they would not leave them alone.
Yeah, because that's a question to everybody. I'm sure everybody.
Why?
In situations like that, and were tragically killed, was like, why? Like, why are you doing this? Like, what? And you just don't have no type of explanation. And what's crazy is when you hear stories like this, and it's like, men are so gross because when they, especially men like this that do shit like this, get into a situation where like dominant and I'm showing sometimes I want to demonstrate power. It's like, why the sexual assault has to be one of the things that men that we need, like they need to do. I just, I mean, I know these guys are sick, but it's like,
for sure. But why is your brain even going there?
Why does
You're
your brain go to like, oh, I want to get cop a feel because I can, and nobody's going to stop me from doing it. It's like that's, I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around that.
That's a good point you bring up. I hate to go off on a tangent in any kind of way. Try to keep it short. I'm going to try to. But this is why, after a couple of messages from some of our listeners, not that I changed my stance. I always understood the would you rather be in the woods with a man or a bear argument. I always understood.
Yeah.
But when you really lock in about the like some of the arguments that I had, where it's like it could be any man or a bear, it was the position of privilege for me as a man to be like, well, what if it was an old man, or what if it was like a guy with his son? And for a woman, their point always was like, whatever you think that man is, he might not be that if he knows he's alone in the woods and can get away with something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for that perspective changed it for me, where I go, well, what if you ran into like 10 years ago, I don't know, the president of the United States? Like, what if you ran into like a noble figure that, you know, doesn't commit crimes and all these things? You go, well, that's what you think that person is publicly. What if he found himself in a situation where he's like, I could do something and get away with it? And that happens to be involving a woman alone in the woods. So like we're talking about this situation, is like, they're just there to get money and jewelry. Why are they even thinking about sexually assaulting women? And it's like, because why not? And then what's somebody going to do something? If we can get away with it, why wouldn't I cop a little feel, do a little something? Why wouldn't I do it? So that's scary. I agree.
It's just, how do you get riled up in a situation? It's like, I don't know, man.
I think that, one, we're talking about, these are people who are insane, depraved, like these are sickos. But also it's like, we've done too many stories and I've watched too many like true crime documentaries and stuff where they really put into perspective for these people that have stuff broken in their brain. Adrenaline can manifest itself in all kind of, it could be sexually thrilling. Like you get so high on adrenaline that it makes you aroused. And I think that, I don't know. I guess I can't use a group of women doing this because I don't think we have any examples of that at all. No, I don't know.
Of like a group of women going in and being like, all right, everybody strip and we're going to take all your jewelry and then sexually assault.
Set it off.
Was they sexually
Nobody
assaulting
was sexually assaulting anybody.
All right.
That's just the only example I could think of. I was thinking of something real. I guess that would be good too, but I'm like, nah, man, that Set It Off is about the only movie I can think of, like women rolling up in the bank with the guns and telling everybody to get on the floor. So it's the only one I got.
It'd be like, I'm gonna sexually assault this man because I'm like,
hey man,
that doesn't happen.
No. So the gunman left after ransacking the house and removing money and valuables from the victim's clothing. They also stole a late model Cadillac. And then adding insult to injury, they even went as far as to urinate on some of the victims during the home invasion. So again, this was about humiliation. They were laughing with each other, high-fiving. Like, yeah, man, I pissed on him, man. Look at this bitch ass. That kind of shit. In the same night, at around 1:15 in the morning, the men entered the Seacrest Diner in Westbury. They ordered all of the hostages to remove all jewelry and undress. They went right in. It's late night at a diner. We all been at a diner, whether it's a Waffle House, a local diner, whatever. 1:15 in the morning, sometimes it's the most packed of the night.
Yeah.
This is also like, I think it's Memorial Day weekend. So you got people a little buzzed, trying to get a little moons over my hammy, whatever you're trying to get, and here comes trouble. And this is the thing that makes me so upset about, like, when we talk about, you could have turned left, we could have turned right. It's like, you could have, you could have been like, I'm not hungry. I'm gonna go ahead and go home. Like, there are people that just found themselves in that diner that night at 1:15 in the morning through happenstance. Like, we almost went to the drive-through.
Yeah.
But I was like, I got to go to the bathroom. Like, just the things that you could do that you find yourself in like the worst situation possible, and it's out of your control. So yeah, they come into this diner, the Seacrest Diner, at 1:15 in the morning. They start collecting valuables and cash from the victims. One gunman took a woman aside and raped her, while some of his partners sexually abused several other of the patrons. Absolute, like, insanity. There was also, not that it you know, it didn't really matter, but there was a retired police officer and another patron that was there that had guns, but they went right in and were like, if you have a gun, take the gun off immediately. And they complied because, like you said, they had guns and they had theirs out and ready to go. So they rendered the only two people that could have possibly done something ineffective immediately.
Yeah. And this was at what, 1:15 in the morning?
1:15 in the morning, right after they just came from this house.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Yeah, as you get older, you go like, ain't nothing going on that late no more. Ain't no bad shit going on that late anymore.
Yeah, I don't need to be outside with anything in the AM in it.
Yeah.
Except the sun, and the sun's not out. Let me rephrase. So anything from midnight to like 4, 5 in the morning, I don't need to be outside. Yeah. There's just nothing I need to be outside for.
Maybe if you're on vacation, I get it, but like, just like,
out of the.
I mean, like if you're not in your 20s, teens, it's like.
My bed is constantly. Soon as, I don't know what kind of bed I got, but as soon as about 7:30 hits, my bed just started calling me.
Yeah,
I don't even got to be home.
Yeah,
it's like I'm a dog. I'm like, damn, yeah, I probably could lay on that pillow.
Yeah,
I bought all these pillows and sheets, and I ain't buy this for nothing. I don't need to be
especially in wintertime. It's all cold.
What?
All snugged up.
Yeah. Now I'm not condemning these people, but I'm like, I'd rather eat some sleep.
Yeah. Right.
You know, I'll eat in the morning.
But another thing I think about is whenever we talk about when you go, left when you should have went right and shit like that, it's like it can be the other way around. Like you could have went, instead of going to that diner, you could have went somewhere else and something could have happened.
Oh yeah, you can't live your life.
It's always
what ifs and all.
It's always chances and shit like that. Things can happen no matter. Like if something happens, you go, man, I should have did this. Yeah, you hindsight. Yeah, you can say that, but like you just never know.
Hindsight is 20/20, they say. It's always when you can look back at something, you go, I would have did it this way, or if it was me, I wouldn't have. You don't know.
Yeah.
One day you just look up and it's like, oh, there's 4 guys in here with guns.
Yep.
It's like you got eggs in your mouth, like
eggs.
Yeah, it's Oh
yeah,
diner food. So 2 of the customers, Mark Rosen, who was 26 years old, and Rory Maroney, who was 16 years old. So again, it's Memorial Day weekend, 16, probably out doing a little underage drinking, being a fool, we done been there.
Yeah.
We didn't been in this exact situation. Diner, 1 o'clock in the morning, 17, just came through, swiped the fake ID, making some moves. Been in this exact situation. I couldn't imagine being faced with some real ass shit.
No.
So these 2 young men, they didn't move fast enough for the gunman's demands. And they made them turn around and they shot them in their ass with the shotgun pellets.
Wow.
So they like lined them up, or like they were next to each other, and they just shot, sprayed.
Yeah.
And they hit them both in the butt.
Is that like humiliation? Like what is that? I don't know.
Yeah, I think, but it's like, one, that's crazy response where you're like, confidently, like it's not going to kill him. It's going to hurt him, but also send the message to the.
So these wasn't bullets.
Well, it was a shotgun, so it was like sprayed.
Oh, it's just, okay.
Yeah.
So it's just got you. But that's only a spray from a distance, though, right? I thought that's like a.
Yeah, I don't think he had the gun put up to their butt. I think he probably was back a little bit, and in his mind, he's like you said, humiliation.
Yeah,
shoot you in that.
Because I mean, like up close, that'll blow his whole ass off.
Yeah, no question. No, it wasn't that.
Okay.
I think they had some distance between them to where in their mind this was a humiliation type of thing.
Right.
Also, in an act of extreme depravity, they forced the hostages to perform sexual acts on each other. Now, it's somewhere.
This is beyond like just robbing to get.
Yeah, no, this is sadistic.
Come up.
Yeah, this is sadistic. These are not just people that are like, I'm trying to hit a lick. Like, no, this is some House of 1,000 Corpses, Rob Zombie movie type shit. Like, you guys are, they riding around like the devil's rejects. Also, keep in mind, there's somewhere close to about 100 patrons in this place.
Wow.
4 of them. That's a lot. That's what they had
I
weapons.
don't know, man.
That's a
like
mob.
20, 15. I'm like, all right, 100 of y'all. At least 3 of y'all need to be like plotting something.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. 2020 hindsight's 2020, right? When you get crippled by fear, or you really got to face like, oh yeah, we got to make it. Let's do something. And you turn to the person next to you like, you ready? And it's like, nah, man, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Well, it's always that one person, and that's the person they make an example of. When you go, they can't stop, or you try to be the fucking quarterback, like, hey man, if we all rush them right now, they can't stop us. But what if nobody rushes? Now you done stood up, made a whole scene.
Yeah.
They gonna come grab you, shoot you, or beat the shit out of you. And now nobody's definitely going to move because they use you as an example. I just don't know if that's ever worked before.
100 people, that's a lot of people, bro.
100 people is a lot. That's a mob. Everybody's only got one bullet, but that's the thing, bro. Listen, one thing I've
How
learned.
many? 4 of them?
It was 4 of them. One of them didn't have a gun though. Like one of them had the blackjack.
He must be like Lil Rank or something.
They didn't give him the heavy duty shit.
They gave him the rickety crick. What was that thing called?
The noisy cricket. What I'm supposed to do with this? Wave it at him. Tell him where to go. But one thing I've learned in recent years is like, man, a movement is hard to move. You know what I mean? Like you can talk a big game online and try to galvanize people, but it's like, yo, show up here. We're gonna make some shit happen.
Yeah.
It sounds good online. You might have 1,000 people like, yeah, man, this isn't right. What the fuck? Yeah. All right, we're going to go here. Meet me here at 3:00. Oh, I didn't know you 3:00. I can't really make that. I got to work.
Today? I didn't know you talking about today.
Yeah, I ain't know, but I thought you talking about a little, maybe next month or something like that.
I don't know. 100 people, bro. Like I'm taking my chances with that. I'm running.
Well, listen.
There's a door.
Somebody's got to get shot. That's the thing that's going to be in everybody's mind. It's 100 people. Everybody's like, am I cool with it being me? That's what you got.
100 people, bro. Unless we lined, no, bro. At least we lined up or something.
Just cause chaos. Start throwing plates, running different directions.
Take a much.
Yeah, 100 people. Yeah.
You take something, you throw it across the room.
Yeah.
Get everybody attention over there, and you run. Figure out where the door is. Like I'm going through. I'm scared as shit, but I'm like, what's my escape plan?
Yeah.
It's 100 people in here.
I'm going through threat assessment scenarios.
Somebody's just gonna have to take the bullet. I'm just like, it ain't gonna be me.
That's the back door, side door, windows, boom, 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 boom. Again, all of this sounds good.
The only fear I got is the door being locked. Then I'm screwed.
Then you gotta turn around like, hey man, psych.
Psych.
I was just playing with y'all, man. Come on, what you want to watch? I got y'all.
Yeah.
Or you get to the door, you push when it's a pull.
Yeah.
So then at half a second they catch up. Yeah, they catch up with you.
To blow your ass off. Yeah.
Gotta move. It's a lot of quick second decisions, man. I've been watching that Special Forces training show, bro. Like when they put you in the shit. I don't know. I don't know if we made for it. That's shit. That's years of training when you making the right decision. So the robbers left this time with an undetermined amount of loot from about 100 patrons at around 2:00 in the morning. So essentially they were kind of in and out. About 45 minutes they pulled this off.
So nobody got killed.
Nobody got killed. But all like violently traumatized, assaulted, raped. Like it was, a lot of terrible things. But nobody was killed, no. According to police, as many as three women were raped, and at least 23 people, men and women, were sexually abused in the 2 incidents, the one at the home and the one at the Seacrest Diner. On May 29th, 1982, 3 of the men, who were all Brooklyn residents, were arrested after a shootout with police who had found the stolen Cadillac that they stole from the house. No one was hurt during the shootout, but one of the suspects did escape.
Okay.
Michael Williams, who was 22 years old, James Henry Martin, who was 21 years old, and Robert Samuels, who was 19, were all arrested. As well as eventually Annelle Kennedy, who was the girlfriend of Michael Williams. She was the girl who... she was the getaway driver. And she also picked them up the first time when they went to that first diner and got away with it. She picked them up in Brooklyn and drove them out to Long Island.
Gotcha.
She would go on to eventually be charged and sentenced to between 7 and 21 years in prison for her part, but she got out after serving 5. I don't have much more information on her. That's why I wanted to just get out of the way.
Yeah.
Eventually, Robert Williams, who was 19, and Bruce Garrison, who was 18, were also arrested. So this is the whole crew, but some of the guys were at some of the Like they weren't all at each one of the situations. So like two of them might have been at the first one, but not at the house, but then were at the Seacrest Diner, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then one of them might not have been at the first one, but then heard about it, wanted to get in on it, then ended up at the house. So in total, the crew was charged with 166 counts each, except for Robert Williams, who was charged with 158 counts. Robert Williams was not present at the Jericho Townhouse Diner robbery, which was the first one.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that's why he got less. He only got 158 charges instead of 166 charges. On November 2nd, 1982, all 5 men pled guilty to a total of 822 charges, including robbery, rape, and attempted murder stemming from the crime spree that involved more than 100 victims. So, that's like a charge each victim. Then, 5 charges, assault with a deadly weapon, sexual assault on each person. So, man, they racked it up. On December 8th, 1982, Judge Raymond Harrington sentenced each of the men to 15 to 30 years in prison on each of the 817 counts to be served concurrently.
Okay.
He stated that that's not bad. Honestly, for this level of like terror, it's wild. He stated that state law put a ceiling of 30 years in prison for anyone convicted of more than one Class B felony. They would not be eligible for parole until they served at least 15 years.
Okay.
After the convictions, Nassau County District Attorney Dennis E. Dillon successfully lobbied state lawmakers to change sentencing laws, making it possible for people convicted of multiple felonies, not including murder, to be sentenced to 25 to 50 years in prison instead of the 15 to 30 years that these men received. So they made it harder on people in the future because they couldn't believe how easy these guys had gotten away. And also keep in mind, this is a small, affluent town. These guys are not from Long Island. They came in from Brooklyn. So this is like, Long Island is very white, also it's predominantly white. So it's like, this is their worst nightmare. These people coming in from their city and all this shit. No, and they only got 15.
We give them life.
Yeah, there's a guy that like ran on a platform, probably became a senator or the mayor or something. Like, I'm going to change the laws to make sure what happened at the Seacrest Diner massacre will never happen again. It's like an infamous thing in their little town. And they didn't probably. Yeah, it was like 5 of them. They were all drenched in blood.
Story and shit.
They ate one of the guys. monster shit.
Yeah.
And then they only got 6 days in jail. You know how they are all lenient on them. These people are victims. I'm not trying to make them like evil racist people, but I'm just saying I can picture.
Right.
They didn't have nice things to say about these 5 black dudes from Brooklyn. No. On June 28th, 2002, 39-year-old Robert Williams was released from a maximum security prison after serving 2/3 of his 30-year sentence. So what's that like? That's like a decade, right? Well, no, that's 20 years. That's 20 years. That's 20 years. Oh. So he says to serve 2/3 of his 30-year sentence. He also complied with prison rules and participated in treatment programs while in prison. So I guess he maybe had some addiction issues or something. According to the executive director of the New York State Division of Parole, he will be supervised intensively by the Targeted Offender Program. The other 4 men remain in prison.
He's on probation or something like that? He can get like supervised probation or something like that?
I mean, I'm guessing that's what this program is.
Oh, okay.
Like Targeted Offender Program, probably like, we're going to keep an eye on you.
Yeah.
Robert,
do you know, I saw this video, and I wouldn't expect you to know this because I didn't know this. Do you know the little ankle monitor things that people wear? They like talk now? I saw a video.
Like, you better get home.
Yeah. So a kid was like, yeah, I'm just getting out of school, so I'm gonna go home. And it was like, all right, well, make sure you go home and make sure you call us when you get there. And it's like, all right, I'll call you when I get home. I was like, them shits talk now?
That's some Black Mirror shit.
Didn't know that.
Man, every day, listen, we hurl further and further into where so much stuff has become like parody has kind of become dead. And Black Mirror is one of those shows where you go, the further we get into technology and stupidity, the Black Mirror almost becomes obsolete, where you go, oh, this isn't even like a dystopian alternate reality type of TV show. This is just some shit that happens now.
Yeah.
So especially that the first episode of Black Mirror, I think it's the first episode. The woman, like, how many followers and shit you have on social media is like, that's like money. And then she started losing followers, and then she couldn't eat, and the whole world started treating her
I
like
haven't
shit.
seen Black Mirror in a while, so I don't.
That's one. Fucking that first episode, Bryce Dallas Howard. It's a crazy one.
The only one I remember is like what it was like. What is the one he was like on a treadmill or something?
That was Daniel Kaluuya.
That's the one I remember.
Yeah, he was on the treadmill, and they were like, they get currency from how long they run on the treadmills and shit.
Yeah,
and then you could buy like clothes for your avatar character on the screen.
Crazy.
No, shit was wild.
Hey man, we getting close. I think give it another like 15, 20 years. It'd be a chip.
Oh yeah, no question.
Be a chip. Won't be no longer. It'd be a chip. Be a chip right put in your hand.
Give it another 10, 15 years. I'm starting to be convinced that show Paradise trying to tell us something.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But that's a conversation we can have
whenever we
finish this.
Whenever we see helicopters carrying cranes, it's like, oh shit. Where the fuck y'all going with that thing?
Hey, you need to take a bulldozer too. You flying the bulldozer somewhere? Okay, all right. 15 bulldozers. Okay, you're right. Okay.
Then we know something up.
Just gotta be on the lookout. Robert Samuels and James Martin are serving life sentences after convictions on an unrelated murder. So again, these are dudes that were just lost. They were done.
Yeah.
You know, bad apples, if you will, whatever you want to call them, 19, 20 years old, and you're already like career criminals. You did all this shit, and then you got convicted for life on something else. So this was just another night for you. 100 people butt naked, making them do all kind of crazy shit, robbing them, shooting them in the ass. And that was like, nah, then we went and did some other shit like a month later and killed somebody. So this wasn't the craziest shit we did. So Robert Williams' brother, Michael Williams, has enrolled in a sex offender treatment program, and that could lead to his release. That's interesting. Bruce Garrison is not being released because he is not enrolled in the sex offender program. So he's committed to. He's like, no, I like me.
Yeah.
I guess if you don't admit to it, sometimes people think of like, it astonishes me how much locked up abroad and all these things I've seen where there's people that you see. It's like, and I'm all for wrongful convictions and you know, people having their day in court, and sometimes the system gets stuff wrong, but sometimes the system gets stuff right, and the person is still like, well, I will never confess so I can appeal. So like, okay. I know I'm in here, but like I'm innocent. I said, but they found the DNA and it was your girl, and they found you you had your hands around her neck. Nah, man, it's the system rigged against me. So if I go to the sex offender program, that's me admitting fault. So I'm not going to do that because I'm going to get out of here my way. It's all right, bro. You got it.
Sure.
So some crazy shit, man. But, you know, so that was the story of the Seacrest Diner Rampage. 5 guys and a young lady came up from Brooklyn and wreaked havoc on this sleepy little town in Long Island. And, yeah, man, sometimes just, you know, badness finds you. And I think that's unfortunate. Before we get up out of here, Fran, do you have any recommendations? Been watching anything good lately?
No, haven't been watching anything lately. I'm trying to think. Have I been? No, I haven't watched anything.
Well, let me strap in.
Okay.
Boy, oh boy, I went on a journey. One, Paradise, still fire. Continues every episode better than the last. They have not dropped anything on me that is like too much to chew or too much to bite off where I go, nah, this is getting dumb. Not once, which is happens with shows that are real mysterious and cliffhangery. Sometimes you get to an episode where you go, wait a minute, what? Who's that? Or what's this? Every episode's like, nope, fully buy that. I'm ready for the next episode right now. You got to wait till next week. So Paradise continues to be great. If you're not watching Paradise, check it out. I started watching Apple Cider Vinegar on Netflix.
This is on Netflix, right?
This is on Netflix.
Yeah.
Boy, Fran, One, it is sometimes as a new parent, there's some aspects of it that I'm like devastating, hard to watch. But essentially,
Is it a movie or a show?
It's a show.
Okay.
I think it's like 6 episodes. I'm on episode 5. Essentially, the show is about people who, whether intentionally or unintentionally, are trying to combat their cancer diagnosis with like homeopathic remedies.
Okay.
But then they're trying to make money off of it. So they're like, oh, are you, do you have cancer? You should drink celery juice. I drink celery juice all the time and I don't have cancer anymore. But it's not true.
Right.
But for some people, it was true. It's a whole thing. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's this one woman who's the star of the show. It's an actress. It's not
like a reality.
It's a real. It's a show, but it's based on a true story. Every episode starts. They go. I love the tagline. Every episode, somebody's in the show is like, this show is a true story based on a lie. Instead of saying based on a true story, it's like this show is a true story based on a lie. I love it. The way they do it is real artistic too. So there's this woman. Her name's Belle Gibson. This is a real woman, but not in the show. Somebody playing her. But Belle Gibson is a real woman. Bro, this woman said she told people she had brain cancer, and then she just started eating well, and the brain cancer went away. So she wrote a cookbook. She made an app, and thousands of people bought the app. All there in Australia too. Thousands of people bought the app because they were like, "Yo, this girl's like she had brain cancer, and she beat it just eating fruits and vegetables." She becomes like 100,000. I don't know if she became a millionaire, but she became very successful. She might have became a millionaire. I don't know. But she writes a book. She's got apps, all this shit. Then the shit comes out like, yo, she's lying. And then but then throughout the show, they show you, oh, she's fucking crazy. The way she gets obsessed with people and lies, she'll lie right to people's face. Then she would see people with cancer and then like start adopting their stories and the things that they like, the hard times that they, I went to my chemotherapy appointment today and I had threw up everywhere, and then she'll go back home to her husband and just tell somebody else's story and just lie. Wow. And her husband thought she had chemo or thought she had cancer.
Really?
It was crazy. This show is insane. This is, I would say, one is better than Baby Reindeer because it's just more artistic and all this stuff. But it's comparable to Baby Reindeer as far as like that woman in Baby Reindeer, how crazy she was. Mm-hmm. Imagine if that woman was the lead of the show. You're following her around. Instead of following the dude around, you're following the crazy lady around. This girl is as crazy as the Baby Reindeer lady. This show is way crazier than Baby Reindeer, but it's more artistic. It's deeper too because there are people that really have cancer in the show. And it deals with all this like accepting of death and trying to run away from it and acceptance and grief and all these different topics. But the main thing is like this crazy ass woman who scammed all these people. Yeah. But then they get to some real deep shit at the same time. It's a great watch. I think I'm maybe have one episode left. I have nothing but good things to say about Apple Cider Vinegar. The woman who's playing Belle Gibson. Bro, the shit was so good. I went and watched the 60 Minutes. I went and did a whole deep dive on like the real story. I went and found
her story.
Her story. I went and found a real interview. They got a 60-minute interview from 60 Minutes of Belle Gibson. I went and watched that. I'm in. I'm deep down the rabbit hole.
Man,
I'm watching YouTube, like women on YouTube break it down, like the real story. I'm obsessed because it's crazy. She was very successful. No, shit is crazy. So, Apple Cider Vinegar on Netflix. Definitely recommend that. Yeah, man. I think that's. Yes, 2. Apple Cider Vinegar, Paradise, 2 good ones. This has been another episode of Affirmative Murder, the equal opportunity true crime comedy podcast. I'm Alvin Williams, joined as always by my partner in true crime, Francell Evans, and we'll see you guys next week.
Deuces.